What's going on YouTube? Today I have a 1999 ML320. I'm changing the power steering pump. I'm going to show you how to do it. First, take this cover off. Oh, nice. It's leaking in a funny spot. Whoa. I think this is just like this because they've been doing short drives, very short drives for the last couple months. Okay, so I guess the first step, probably removing the fan shroud. So that means you probably have to remove the fan. So it's got that big nut there that goes on the pulley right in the center. So that looks like about a 34. Usually there's a kit you need to get these off. We might be able to just leave the fan on, maybe. I don't know. I'm just gonna try to find a wrench and get that off. Okay, so probably wondering which way does this turn. So for that, I look at the blades and I can see the fan has to spin this way in order to pull the air through. Therefore, if you spin it, it should unscrew. So I got this wrench here, hoping it will work. You have to have a 36 mil wrench for the fan. It's about this thin. You're probably going to end up renting a kit from an auto parts store or something because the kit's like $150. I was able to find this single wrench at Auto Value for just under 40 bucks. So 36 mil. And it goes on here. Okay, and I messed up. The way to tell which way this turns is you gotta think like when the engine's running, it's gonna be tightening the fan. Okay, so if it's turning this way, the engine's turning that way, so this would be loosen. So using that logic, you can just assume that any fan will turn this way. This is how the blades are. You look at the bottom of the blade and turn towards that. Now, this is gonna be pretty tight, and I'm sure it's just gonna see, it just spins the pulley. Okay. So, might have to get creative here. See, the other end of this has a 47 millimeter, which might go around these. No, but yeah, see, you might have to do some magic. Anyways, I'm gonna get this off and I'll tell you how I did it. First, I'm gonna try the please come off, and we're gonna be whacking it with a hammer. Okay, so that took me a bit to figure out a good way to do. Anyways, I got my wrenches here. I got a 10 millimeter and then a 13 millimeter on there to gain leverage. And I put it on one of these bolt heads here, just on the outside. And then I put the wrench on. And then you just push down on both sides at the same time and it'll come loose. Okay, so you can see my wrenches on there. The new special wrench is there. So you go like this, pull. Now that it's loose, the belt will hold it and you can just spin your fan off. Just be careful when it comes off. You could hit the radiator. It seems like this clutch has failed. Should bring the nut with it. Okay, I'm getting to the end, so I'm going to start being careful. Sad to say, I think this fan's clutch is done. You should be able to spin it and take it off. It's going a little bit, but it's going to come off flying and it's just gonna dent the radiator. Okay, I can get my hand in there now. Oh, we're done. And that comes right out. Look at that. All that clutch material. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's still working. Oh, it's getting weaker. What the? Okay. I don't think it should do that. Okay. Maybe we'll put this in front of, actually, screw it. Thing isn't overheating. That's not a problem. Next, you're gonna want to remove the fan shroud. So let's see how that works. Okay, that's a pull up. Let's come over here. There's a pull up down there. Okay, and there's on the very bottom I see two 10 millimeter fasteners on the bottom corner. I assume there's one on this one too. Okay, I'll try to film this in this corner somewhere. Blah blah blah. And there's this one, right under the hose here. Okay, so I got the two bolts that I saw down there. I'm pretty sure that's everything, and it should just come straight up.
You know, I didn't film it because I thought the guy who did this just messed up and put this on top of the shroud, but yeah, you're gonna have to remove these after you take the bolts out. On the bottom they go through here, and then these you have to kind of move this thing around because this will stop you from removing it. This little tab here, yeah, I don't like that design. This is my magnet tray, put that here. I'm not putting it on the ground because it's a mess right now. Once I move down to the ground, I'm gonna clean up, keep these where they belong. Now that I got all of that out, both of those, this should just pop right off, right? You suck. Okay, there's one side. There's two sides. Okay, don't go crazy at this point. You can still mess up the fins on the radiator. That side's detached. That side's good. Slowly come up. Don't just yank it if it's not coming, because something's in the way. You need to find it. That side's all clear. There's my screwdriver. It's all clear. It should come. Okay, it's hooking the bottom of the radiator. Yes. Alright, now look at all that space we have. Okay, first step, you're gonna have to get this tensioner loose. Okay, there's a 17mm right there, and you loosen on it. Oh, no, that's tightening. See, and the belt becomes loose. And then you can just take it right off. Take a picture of this before you take it off. I gotta take a picture of this. This one's not simple. Okay, so pressure. Take off the belt, just like so. Take this time, this opportunity to spin all your pulleys. This car's so old, I'm just gonna guess they're all bad. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, well there's that. Tensioner's fine. The water pump, right? Water pump pulley's starting to get some play, but it's not leaking yet, so I'm gonna leave that. Just needs this idler bearing. Sounds good. Okay, so up here. There you go. Now, if you weren't leaking every ounce of fluid that you put in for the last year, then you shouldn't have to worry about making a big mess at this point. Okay, so this is the size of socket you'll need. It's a E10. Inverted Torx, and I think there's either 4 or 3 bolts holding this. I know there's one for the reservoir. There's one. That was the one that goes in the reservoir. Oh no, I don't want music in my video. Okay, well that's one. There's another bolt here. It's right there. Come on, focus. Yeah, right under the pulley. Okay, so what you gotta do, get a ratchet on there. You gotta push, and that will give you access to the bolt, and you can do that. Okay, so you got your ratchet, which is hopefully not a tiny one like this. I don't know why I grabbed that. You got one ratchet, set it to loosen. Another ratchet, it's already on there. Okay, I'm gonna get in position. Oh, they're E12? Wrong size, guys. Sorry. They're not all tiny. Hoping it's an E11 because Mercedes ate my E12. What do you know? Okay, I'm going to teach you a trick that I don't want you to show anybody. I got an 11mm socket here. I'm going to use a 3/8 on this one. That's not cool. It was not even finger tight. There we go. Slightly bigger bolt for a slightly stronger part. Okay, and then there's one right up above it, right under the bolt that you undid for the reservoir. Okay, that's a bit tighter. About as tight as it should be. Now, before you get that bolt out, before you unfasten the whole pump from the engine, you're going to want to get the high pressure line off. Should have done this already, actually. It's that one down there. See, there's the cap, there's the high pressure. And I suggest using a line wrench if you have access. Okay, come down to this one, give it a tug. Oh, it comes out pretty easy. This one. You should be able to finish it with your fingers. Try to pull straight out on this. Oh, come on. That's not what I want to see. Oh, well that O-ring is garbage. Okay, well this needs new O-rings. If I have to, I'll try to save it, but that's not what I want to do. Okay, and the last bolt, I believe it's that one right there. Come on. Yeah. Right down there. So I ended up putting a 1/4" ratchet on it. And I'm taking a wrench, putting it right there, and prying, basically putting the ratchet inside the loop. I mean, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Shouldn't be worried at all. Comes with new O-rings. Usually it does. I just like to try to not break things when I take them apart. Seems like the nicer thing to do. Okay, so far I've taken out the bolt in the back that's hard to get to. I've taken out the pressure line and the return line right here. Okay, the only thing that's holding this pump on is this bolt that's only finger tight. Little ratchet here. Should be easy enough. It's number 3. Now, as long as the internet hasn't lied to me, this should just come right out. Oh, they've lied. Yeah, I'm sure I missed a bolt. There's a hidden bolt. I don't know if you can see it. It's down there. Right there. Right there. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, they're all different. Oh, Mercedes. They're so close, though. Okay, Mr. Internet, you said this will come out now, and you weren't lying. Just careful not to twist this too much. There's that little clip that holds it on, and this is going to go on the new one. You'll put that in before the pump goes into the car. Nice. Not bad.
Spin your pulleys. And you're changing a serpentine belt. This is perfect. This is what you want to see. See it? No sound. No play. This has play. Piece of. Okay, when you get your pump off, you transfer the bracket and the clip right here. Just take a little screwdriver and this pops right out. This comes off very easily. Don't forget to replace your O-ring. Goes right here on the fitting, right on the tip, and just clean around here. Make sure it's going to seal nicely. I left the little plug-in that comes with the pump so that it wouldn't leak any of the fluid that's already in there. Our setup doesn't use these two O-rings, washers. I'm gonna throw them in my toolbox for something else. Power steering system should be flushed before installing replacement unit. Well, I'll do it then. Okay, I totally don't remember how this went, but I'm just gonna guess and maybe I'll get it right. Stick around to find out.
Okay, it looks like I got it. So up around the crank, tensioner, water pump, alternator, idler, power steering, to air conditioning, back to the crank. I can remove the wrench. Cool. Now just the fan shroud and the fan itself. Okay, it's got to go in together. You can go like this. Okay, for tightening, I'll take my 10 mil and we're gonna do what we did on the loosening part. I guess we gotta put it on this side. I don't know if you can see that. Come on, focus. I have the wrench, doing the wrench trick. I have it on one bolt there. And we take our wrench. It doesn't need to be very super tight. Kind of as tight as you can get it, but you know, don't spend a year trying to get it like as tight as a lug nut or something. Alright, and then get your shroud properly slotted. Why? Awesome. And then there's these ones on the bottom. Before you go and put them on, just make sure that there's a place for the bolt to go, which there isn't on this one. This one's good. Make sure the bolt can get through this, which this one can't. See, this is in the way right here. I think I'll be able to, yeah, there we go. Broke it, but that's not the part that actually holds anything. Now I can get the bolt in. Alright, if you are going to flush it, this is the tube you take off, and you basically keep pouring fluid into here. You have to plug off the reservoir though. You keep pouring fluid in here and running it, and then you put this into another container and pay attention to how clear the fluid is and keep going until it's clear. Try not to run it too dry for too long. It's not good for the pump to run when there's no fluid in it. Now that I'm looking at this, I don't think you need to remove the fan shroud at all. Oh well, I'm too used to Chevy. You have to remove the fan shroud to do anything on the front of the engine.